Sometimes I develop a little bit of a lisp, So
Sometimes you do?
Or are you noticing it often?
No, I've never noticed it.
Sometimes you do? Okay.
No, I just thought it's funny that you said sometimes. I'm like, I've never heard it until you just said it.
Man.
I have a hard time when people have lisps because I watch their tongue hit their teeth. I'm like, okay.
Just pull that tongue back a little bit.
Come on now.
I find I get one if I've, like the tea thing. You know how tea can kind of dry out your mouth a little bit? Does that make sense? Because like tea and coffee is a diuretic also, so I feel like I gotta keep water up in here if I have had tea recently. And now I'm really trying, by the way, Kate, to not lisp as we're having this conversation.
I was going to say, I've never noticed you're a lisp, and I am a noticer of lisps.
Oh,
so
thanks, Kate.
I think you're good.
That's the best news I've gotten in a while.
I know. I notice these things, but...
Yeah. I imagine someone probably would have said at some point in time, like, hey, Lisp boy, if you want to make it anywhere in this industry, you might want to figure out how to pull your tongue back from your teeth when you are saying words that have S's in them.
Or they'd say, we like you a lot, but we're not going to give you the job because you have a lisp. And you'd say, what lisp? And then you'd figure it out, but no.
Or would they have said anything? So many times people do not offer feedback that could be very valuable for the feedback receiver.
You're right. Mm-hmm. And my cousin had an interview and she didn't get the job. And I was like, oh, that stinks. And she said, I know. So I emailed her and asked her why. I'm like, what? Like, to me, that's unheard of. But at the same time, I'm like, that was really good thinking. She just, in her email, was like, thanks so much. I appreciate the opportunity. Can you tell me what I can work on for, if I want to be employed by you in the future, or if there's more opportunities in the future, like what are some things? Or what can I do better in my interview process? I'm like, you are so bold. Way to go. I would never have thought of that. I'd just be like, your loss.
Did she get feedback?
Yeah, she did.
And what'd they say?
Well, she's very
Too ugly.
No, that's not what they said. Because then she would have sued.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. It might be a lot of places just hold back because of liability, but...
That's true. They said that she wasn't as experienced in a certain area, that they were hoping they were going to get somebody who's more experienced. So once she had a little bit more experience, and they said overall they really liked her. They just wanted a little bit more experience in this one area. And the what did they say? The candidate that we hired had a little bit more experience working in this program than you did. But like, I think that's great. What if somebody came back and it's like, you're a terrible interview. You look great on paper, but you're a terrible interview. Like, that would be a little rough, don't you think?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it could sting. But it might still be helpful. Might help maybe you'll do some better role play or something. I don't know. And maybe our friends in HR might be able to tell us. I feel like you might be more legally sound giving someone an interview. I mean, giving someone feedback that you didn't hire. If you're just like, unless it's about, one of the main discriminating things, it's like,
you're old.
Yeah, you're black. Sorry. Like there's clearly things that are like discrimination. But if you're a bad interview, I wouldn't think you'd have to worry about a liability there. As opposed to
they told me
if you fire someone, I know they're pretty reluctant to get too specific when they fire people. I feel like maybe not. I don't know. I haven't been fired enough times, I guess.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I was going to say, like, you don't want to do that as an experience, Matt. Experiment.
I'd rather avoid that. Yeah, sure. Speaking of, because you had mentioned that stinks, and it reminded me because we were talking about giving people feedback. I worked with someone who had chronically bad breath. Did I tell you this before?
No.
Okay, because...
Is it me?
It's you. No, but it was a coworker, and it was one of those deals where it's like, I feel like she's got to have a close friend that would notice this horrible halitosis. I mean, it was bad. You could smell it.
Oh, God love her.
You need to be 2 social distance lengths away. You need to be a good 12 feet social distance. And I was like, surely she has a friend who's close enough that will say, like, hey, you might want to, brush your tongue or,
oh my gosh,
brush, floss, Listerine,
right?
etc. Although I suppose you can have halitosis that originates out of like your guts, right?
I think so. I think that's one of the things like gut health.
Oh, okay. So then I would say Activia or something like that.
Something. We had a coworker not too long ago who wore a lot of perfume, and it was not a pleasant perfume. And one of the ladies in the office tried to tell her very politely that it affected her allergies, like she was allergic to her perfume, and if she could not wear it as much as, and she took it very personal, was not very pleased. And I don't know that this is why she quit, but she quit within 2 weeks of that conversation. It's like,
wow.
I don't know. And that's got to be a delicate situation to be like, listen, you can't do that at the office.
I've had watery eyes before from people's perfumes. So, or cologne. So you could potentially say I'm allergic to that.
True. True.
Like whenever I start crying, I try to blame allergies or something got in my eye or maybe a perfume. I don't know.
Matt's just crying, you guys. He's blaming it on his allergies, but he's really crying in here. He's having a moment.
Very emotional fellow. I may seem cold, but...
Everybody come stare at him in the studio window.
I was thinking I could do TV, but then it's like, I openly weep too much.
I openly weep.
I'd be weeping on the camera all the time, especially with some of the bummer news they talk about. So instead, how about talk about inconsequential things on a radio show?
I try not to cry at work. It's not always helpful. It doesn't always work out that way, but I try not to.
It's not helpful when you start crying, or it's not helpful when you try to tell yourself not to?
Both. But yeah, sometimes it's...
Don't throw up, don't throw up, don't throw up. Kind of like that.
Don't throw up, crying. I threw up, crying. No. Sometimes I feel like, especially when there's high levels of stress, I feel like I've got tears right under the surface, that a kind word or a clumsy moment could send me into Sobville. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah, good to know.
Yeah, I feel like instead of having tears ready to go at any moment, I'm just ready to be a jerk at any moment if...
Okay.
If I'm not saying that this is a common thing. I'm just saying if I were to have one or the other, it'd be more than likely I'm going to... I don't know. Actually, you didn't mention what circumstance it would be that would drive... Like, if it's a stressful situation and it's caused by someone, I'm probably more apt just to... Snap's not quite the right word, but
Go off the handle?
Yeah, go off the handle a little bit. Yeah.
Lose your beep.
I wonder where the origin of go off the handle was from.
I almost just asked you that, but then I thought it was going to be like, duh, Kate, it's such an easy answer, so I just kept it to myself.
This is an American phrase, and it alludes to the uncontrolled way a loose axe head flies off from its handle.
Oh.
Quote, he flies right off the handle for nothing. That's from the Phrase Finder, which you can find at phrases.org.uk. Kate.
.uk. So not, but it says American? It's an American phrase?
Yeah,
right?
Just because it's a website based in...
Paul Bunyan style? Okay.
Yeah.
First heard with Paul Bunyan.
Kate, you're making up stuff now.
I know.
You're not actually reading that anywhere.
Hey, okay, what's the name of that website again?
That one was phrases.org.uk, specifically the Phrase Finder. Now, second place actually is Quora, which we talked about before.
Right.
Literally, it refers to the axe head accidentally flying off its wooden handle while being used to chop a tree, for example. So, once again, Matt and Kate Googling so you don't have to.
But I think those are helpful websites. And I found some more helpful websites that I wanted to bring to your attention because I'd never heard of these websites. But you can bet your bottom dollar I'm going to use these websites now. You like that?
That tomorrow.
Daddy Warbucks.
Yeah.
myfridgefood.com. Have you heard of this?
My Fridge Food?
MyFridgeFood.com.
I have not, no.
Okay, you enter a bunch of random ingredients that you have on hand, and it suggests recipes that you can make.
Oh, my guess was going to be that it was about like expiration of things in your fridge. It's like My Fridge Food.
That's also would be helpful.
Type in the expiration dates of your dairy item, and it'll let you know whether you should toss that by
For real.
Yeah, sometimes the expiration date isn't really the expiration date. So have you used this website before, Kate? This one, what's it called again?
MyFridgeFood.com.
You type in the things that are in your fridge, and it says, hey, here's an item you can make.
Ingredients that you have on hand. So another website that I found, Matt, listen to this one. I'm so excited to use this one. RunP.com.
Run and the letter P.com?
Run, P-E-E.
Oh, okay.
.com.
Is that about like incontinence?
No, I wanted to see what you would say, but yeah. This is an app that lets you search different movies and tells you the best time when to take a pee break so you don't miss anything important.
Interesting. That's handy in the movie theater. At home, you can pause, right?
I know, but if you're watching it with other people and they don't want to hit pause 5 times. So, like if you're watching Die Hard, at the 45-minute mark is when Reginald VelJohnson is looking for Twinkies. So that's a good time to go pee.
Reginald he's one of the better characters in that film. I'm gonna walk out.
But if he's looking for Twinkies, that's not important.
Oh, man. He also played the dad on Step by Step.
No,
I'm sorry. Family Matters. What's wrong with me?
Yes.
Step by Step. Sorry,
Come on. Get your TGIF trivia right.
I don't know what happened there. Damn it, that's embarrassing.
Urkel would be so disappointed.
Horrible. Urkel would be. Yeah, Jaleel White would be pretty upset right now.
He'd be real mad. Okay, I've got one more website that I want to quiz you on that I think I'm going to use. Okay? GetHuman.com.
Oh, I feel like I've heard of this site.
Have you?
Is that some product?
Nope.
Okay.
GetHuman.com. You're not searching for Russian brides.
Okay. How to get to a customer service representative when you call a support line.
Yes. So you type in the name of a company and it gives you the customer service number that goes to a human. Or if you have to go through a robot, it tells you which buttons to push.
Or maybe what thing to say. Because many of them say, like, tell us what you want to do.
Tell us. Yeah. So gethuman.com.
Give me a gosh darn person.
Customer service. Okay. I'm having trouble.
You ever try asking an inbound call if it's a robot or not?
Are you a robot? No, I've never done that.
I've done it once, and I'm fairly certain it ended up being a robot. I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean, robot?
Robot, schmobot.
Like, I feel like you're still a robot, but okay.
So those are new websites that I have found that I'm excited about.
Fantastic. Exciting. Yeah, this should be a regular thing. New websites with Kate. Great.
Okay, because I've got more. I didn't know if you were up for more, so I'll hold on to those.
Oh, yes. Keep those.
Okay.
Hold those close to your heart or something.
It'll be my gift to you.
Right. Kate, we got feedback on double spaces.
Feedback on double space after the period.
This is very important stuff. So yesterday, Kate discovered that I'm a one space after a period type of person.
I feel like it's the other way around because you are in the quote unquote correct position. So you discovered that I was in the wrong. How about that?
If you listen to the tape, you were pretty well shocked.
Okay.
Like, oh no, are you a single space after? That was before I broke it down as to why that might be the case. And I was like, what would you learn to do? Type on a typewriter, Kate? Come on.
Right.
Something like that.
Which I did.
And then I said something along the lines of, it's not 1997, Kate. Right? Did I say that too?
Right. I believe you did.
Well, I have feedback here on the old Facebook page, which I recommend people find Matt and Kate on Facebook. As much as I talk about, everyone should not be on Facebook, go find Matt and Kate on Facebook.
You do.
And you could share feedback like this one that we got from Melissa about 2 spaces after a period.
Come on, Melissa, be on Team Kate.
FYI, my fingers cannot do 1 space after a period. I was taught 2, and now I'm conditioned. I know it needs to go away, but my brain can't let it happen. And I learned this in 1997, ! on a computer, not a typewriter, LOL. So there you go. Melissa with the feedback about 2 spaces after a period. She wants to stop being a 2 space after a period person, but she can't.
Melissa, I feel you. I feel you, Melissa.
Reflexively throws that second space on there. So after a discussion yesterday, Kate, did you attempt to change your behavior?
I don't know. Probably not.
You don't know. You don't know.
I'm trying to think if I had any emails yesterday. Certainly I did. You know what I probably do more than I should is new paragraphs. I feel like people don't always read paragraphs. Mm-hmm. So instead of, I will break a paragraph before it needs to be so that it's more like bullet form emails.
Okay. No, I agree with that behavior. In fact, I got a message from my dad yesterday on this,
In
Kate.
fact, I quit reading your emails all the time, Kate.
Right. So I got a message from my dad about the double space conversation, right? So he said, never heard about just using 1 space after a period. Space, space. Trying to teach this old dog new tricks? Question mark, space, space. Learn something new today, period. Space, space. Thanks, period.
Now, Papa Stooks, he did not write space, space. You are adding that, correct?
No, there just happens to be 2 spaces between the periods and the new sentences that he sent.
Okay, just checking.
I zoomed in so I could tell, yeah. And so I responded with, that's what I'm here for. And he responds, I guess no paragraphs will be next.
Right?
I wrote, I sure hope not. Because, a wall of text, you see a big old wall of text with no line breaks. That's the worst thing ever. I will take 2 spaces after a period for the rest of the time before that, Kate. No way.
That's the worst thing ever.
A wall of text. I'll just give up. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not. Or I'll scan for keywords at that point. Like, I really feel like you should have a 1-sentence paragraph is just fine. I think once you get to 3 sentences in a paragraph, you should really consider
not.
Should I go ahead and throw another sentence into this paragraph? Or maybe I should hit return a couple times or enter, depending on your keyboard. Or do I need to make this more concise? Can I tighten this up a little bit? So, and I know learning about grammar and typing and stuff on a Friday is no fun, but yeah.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. This conversation is lit.
Exactly. Well, one thing I realized when I was reading this text message back to you, Kate, is that with text messages, especially for the longest time, I know it's not as big of a constraint now. You can pretty much go on and on and on and on a text, especially on iMessage or whatever. It doesn't break it up. Was that you had limited characters. So having 2 spaces after a period robs yourself of special robs you of special robs you
one more time
robs you of precious characters. There we go.
Got it.
Boom. Count it at the buzzer. Got it in there.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Special characters or precious characters?
Precious characters.
Oh, man.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, well.
So there we go. Feedback on double spaces. Thanks to both Melissa, who did it through the old Facebook, and my dad, who did it through the old messages there.
Now, in Melissa's, did you note space after the period? Or
okay, pulling Melissa's back
punctuation?
Up here. Nope, looks like she took the care. Although there's only 1 period in this communication, because we have FYI, my fingers cannot do 1 space after a period, and then she types a period and a single space, it looks like. And then she writes, I was taught to, and now I'm conditioned. I know it needs to go away, but my brain can't let it happen. And then she omitted any kind of punctuation after that sentence. And then she followed that up with a new sentence. And I learned this in 1997, double exclamation point, which I appreciate.
I love it. Although
I usually like 3 if I'm going more than 1. And then finally, on a computer, not a typewriter, LOL, once again followed with no punctuation there. So Melissa getting a little bit gutsy with the punctuation in general, frankly, now that I look at this again, Kate.
I like it, Melissa. I like it. I learned in 96, Matt, And they were on computers, green screen computers, but we still had 2 spaces. But I know that things have I know your reasons make sense. But I don't feel like there is a big, massive, like, hey, y'all, we're changing it up. Everybody get on board or we're going to judge the hell out of you for putting 2 spaces behind a period.
I don't think there was a memo to society about this because I would have remembered that. I would have noted that and been like, yes, that makes sense. Let's do it.
You would have kept a laminated copy in your wallet so that you could be like, guys, here it is.
Yeah, and in fact, as I think about that, as I've been looking at these messages, and their spaces or lack of spaces or punctuation, potentially, is that maybe in a previous life I was a forensic punctuation expert. Kate, you might have seen me on Forensic Files in a previous life. I know it doesn't make much sense considering how long that show has been on the air, but, Parallel universe, alternate reality. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Don't you think maybe I could be that? Maybe I can be that.
Maybe you can.
If there's any police departments listening and need a forensic punctuation expert, there probably are actually people that are more qualified for that than I am. But,
I was going to say that probably falls under like the handwriting experts.
The handwriting experts, and there are like linguistic, like forensic linguists or something, right? Where they can say, this person totally wrote this because look at this thing they wrote over here that we know they wrote.
Mm-hmm.
They're the only ones that say this particular phrase,
Right.
Oh, man, this is getting spooky, Kate. Okay.
This is getting deep.
I'm getting like the watching a Forensic Files like chills, like, ooh, You know what I'm talking about? The chills you get when you're watching a show like that?
Yeah. Yeah. Unsolved mysteries. I get the chills a lot.
Yeah, I'm kind of recalling one where they, like, this person always, like, never uses contractions. I feel like that might have been one. And they would never use can't.
Do not.
They would only do, right. They would only do cannot, do not.
Will not.
Yeah.
Was it from the movie Guys and Dolls?
I'm sorry, I don't.
Because they don't use contractions in that.
They do not.
They do not.
Is that a well-known thing, Kate, or did you just discover that by...
I mean, I know that. I'm sure other musical enthusiasts go, hey, Frank Sinatra does not use contractions in this movie. Neither does Marlon Brando.
How did you notice that?
I don't know. I picked it up.
Okay.
Probably watching it like 8 times. I don't know.
Does Elliot still have a thing for Marlon Brando?
She does. And Sweet Sam, who works here, he told me that Marlon Brando was born in Omaha. So she was just like, oh my gosh, Marlon Brando was born in Omaha.
Have you thought, I just realized that maybe a Marlon Brando poster, Handsome Marlon Brando.
Handsome.
Which would be like under the age of 40 Marlon. When did he... But probably something like that. 30-something Marlon Brando poster would be great for Christmas, Kate. She could put it on her wall.
She could. She could.
And at the new house, you could put it next to giant Patrick Mahomes, right?
And kids would be like, who's that black and white picture? It's Marlon Brando, duh.
That would be pretty funny.
And when I think of Marlon Brando not being handsome, I don't think of Godfather, because I don't think he's terribly unhandsome in Godfather. But I think of Island of Dr. Moreau. Like, okay. I think that was like his last project where he's real sweaty.
Which I haven't seen.
Because it's a tropical. It's weird. I don't really suggest it. It's a remake. Val Kilmer's in it.
He was in The Score with, I think that's right. The Score, I think was what it was called, with Edward Norton.
Oh, yeah. I don't know that one.
That was an older Marlon Brando one, too. And he got really large, physically, like literally became quite fat later in life.
Yes. Large. Large.
So, but anyway, or you could just get a high quality print, a headshot of handsome Marlon Brando, frame it, and give Elliot that for Christmas.
I was thinking about getting her the songbook to Guys and Dolls. I didn't think about 8x10s of Marlon Brando, but
can you do a quick recap of what exactly she said of about Marlon Brando when you guys were watching Guys and Dolls?
I think she said he's dreamy. I can't remember if that was it exactly, but I asked, who do you like better, Nathan Detroit or Sky Masterson? And she's like, oh, Sky, duh. Look how handsome or something. I think she probably said handsome.
I feel like when you told that story the first time, you said handsome. And I think that was fairly...
I think handsome.
I think that was fairly soon after you saw it.
Yeah.
which is great. And Elliot's in 3rd grade, right?
She's in 3rd grade.
Okay, just to make sure we have the age right for everybody. So
8 years old. Yep.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a couple of the Christmas presents in the mail yesterday.
Oh.
But I haven't decided. Like, I got them both. I got 2 big items. And they both want these 2 items. But instead of saying, here's 2 items for you guys to share, I'm going to say, you get this item and you get that item. And then I know that they're going to share and play together because they coincide together. They're probably not going to listen to this, but just in case, they are in the world of Barbie as far as like items. Okay.
Wait, are your kids, real quick, are your kids not subscribed to the Matt and Kate podcast?
Well, they're only allowed to go on podcasts with supervision. And so I try to keep it to the bedtime stories. So
not you were listening with murder podcasts at one day in front of them, right?
Dateline. Yep. Which
Dateline.
is not as bad as murder, but it was murder. So, yeah.
So
we only did it the one time, Matt. I only did it the one time.
I apologize for the aside. Go on.
Okay. So these are Barbie toys.
Okay.
And that's that way. If they do subscribe to Matt and Kate, then they won't know which Barbie items.
I was
but
getting
they're
ready to ask.
kind of big items. Not a dream house and not the Ferrari, but
a boat.
No. Well, wait.
Okay.
Possibly.
All right. So let me guess again then. I'm having a hovercraft.
No.
Darn, because that would have counted as a boat or vehicle. Okay. I give up.
Okay.
What is it?
I give up. I did the Barbie RV, which comes with actually a rowboat. So, I mean, does that count? And then
yes,
I
think officially I win. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And then a Barbie airplane. Which, Matt, I got to tell you, my daughters love playing Barbies, but they don't have Barbies. They have Disney princesses, but they have Barbie accessories. I don't know what my deal with Barbie is that I'm just like, I don't want to buy Barbie, but I know that this will make them so happy.
Is it because the Disney princesses are in normal human proportion, whereas the Barbies push an unrealistic? Okay.
I feel like that's where I'm okay with Disney princesses versus.
Although, do you have an Ariel?
We have all of them. We have all of them.
Okay, so doesn't Ariel kind of push a unattainable image, Kate?
Oh, well, she's not in seashells, if that's what you're asking.
No, I meant with the tail. Like kids are going to want to have some kind of cosmetic surgery where they have their legs removed in
we have Ariel for the bathtub
and replaced with
and she's got a tail. Can you imagine?
Oh, so you have post Mermaid Ariel?
Yes, we have post Mermaid.
Sorry,
Ariel.
Spoilers for Little Mermaid. Didn't mean if anyone hasn't seen Little Mermaid.
Post Finn's Ariel.
Right. But did she get it because of cosmetic surgery? We didn't spoil that part. So
we did not. No. We even have a couple of dudes. We've got Aladdin. We've got Kristoff. We've got Cinderella's Prince Charming. Yeah.
Oh, is there a different Prince Charming?
Oh, yeah. There's Snow Whites. There's Sleeping Beauties.
Those are all Prince Charmings?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Sleeping Beauties is Prince Philip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the Snow White and Cinderella, they don't have names, I don't think.
Yeah, there's some random creep that comes in and...
Hey, doesn't want to dance with her at the ball, and then he does, and then... now I'm going to have to Google it.
Oh, okay. Time for another edition of Matt and Kate Google.
Have a name. Snow White tells the dwarfs about her prince. Prince Charming. That's Snow White.
Okay.
So let's go with Cinderella, dressed in yellow. You know that one, Matt? It's a jump rope song.
Oh, yeah. Then it goes and...
Went upstairs to kiss a fella.
Yeah, I was going to say it's something fella. All right. Damn it.
Then what happens?
Right.
She made a mistake.
She made I give up.
She kissed a snake.
Oh.
How many doctors did it take? Yeah.
And did you jump rope to that one?
Yeah, and then you keep counting to see how many jumps you get. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Cinderella's prince has no name either. He's Prince Charming.
Okay. All right. So there you go.
Yeah.
What book is Belle reading then in Beauty and the Beast? Do we know? She's singing about here's where he meets Prince Charming or whatever.
I was right about Sleeping Beauty, Prince Philip, though. No, I don't. Gosh, this is really, there's going to be some Disney fanatics out there that are like, duh, Kate, she's reading this book. What book is Belle reading in the beginning? Aladdin.
She's reading Aladdin? Oh.
Aladdin. Here's where she she meets Prince Charming. However, okay, so there's a picture here.
Didn't Aladdin come after Little Mermaid, that one?
Well, no.
Oh, the cartoon
Didn't Aladdin
did.
come before Belle?
Aladdin, the cartoon, was after Beauty and the Beast. I'm fairly certain that's right.
Romeo.
I was into those films when I was a little kid.
This does not tell me anything. Belle's favorite book is Aladdin, and here's the proof. But it shows me a picture, and it does not say Aladdin. That's not proof. What is Belle reading? Romeo and Juliet? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because Romeo is not Prince Charming.
This is some really bad Googling here, Kate.
Really bad. But that was a really specific question that you just asked. What book was Belle reading?
Yep, stumped her.
Man, I'm going to have to do some research.
All right, so there you go. Look for follow-up on a future show.
Yep, follow up.